Evening all, welcome back to RLH for another week. And with the ongoing Discord issues, I think we've just about managed to get everyone in the session, maybe missing just one driver. But either way, we have managed to get a race up and running. I'll just get some bits on the screen for you. As drivers out on their outlaps right now. So yeah, if needs be, if you do need to contact us, get us a comment in the chat on YouTube, because there is still, as far as I'm aware, I'll just refresh. Yet no update on Discord status. Still very much down. Who are we on board with here? We've got Philip Hogston. Is coming around towards the end of his outlap. Very short lap here, of course, very short duration lap. Just over 1 minute here in Austria. And we'll stay on board with him. In fact, we'll stay with him. As he starts the lap. For some reason my mic is trapped. There we go. Down into turn 1. And yeah, we'll open the DRS once again. All the way down the longest straight on the circuit. Even though you wind slightly to the right and then back to the left up the hill for the braking zone into what is officially turn 3, and all the way down to keeping it in third gear, actually, keeping the minimum speed up, keeping the wheel spin to a minimum on the exit, DRS open once again. I'm not sure who was the first to start a lap. We'll keep an eye on the leaderboard to see any that come through. And yeah, Philip Hogston looking pretty neat and tidy so far. We've got a couple of drivers, Huss, just in time, and Schnitzy, considering a run on the mediums to begin with. Snellheng and first across the line with a 105.463. And what can Philip Hogston manage? We've got Alex K, actually. We've missed that one as well. So 104.7 lowers the bar quite significantly. And James slots in, actually now just behind his teammate, 105.3 for James. Sky Baxendale with a 104.997, just getting into the fours. Philip Hogston finishes that lap, slotting into the top 3. Goran Potnar is the first of the Haas cars, slots in just behind him, and someone else has gone up front now. That's Huss with a very solid 104.9 on the mediums, and just in time with a 105.1 on the medium tyres. So good laps from both of those. Be interested to see if they are tempted to go for the soft tyre a little bit later as others improve. Who else has been across the line? That's Sigurd Martu, I think, starting a lap. And one of the, I think it could be Phil coming to the end of a lap, is it? It is indeed, and a 105.6 so far for him. He's also out there on the mediums. Lurchday's on his outlap, so let's go on board with him, and I'm just going to leave you to enjoy that because I'm going to finish my lunch. Huss to the top of the pile down, his second lap on those mediums, so that's certainly looking very well for him. Lurch now down into the middle sector, and you'll have to turn left, which is a bit of a novelty on this circuit, but a little bit of traffic in front as well. Should just manage to avoid that as he comes through now, making sure not to run too wide on the exit. There's definitely a couple of corners around here where you can lose the lap time, and that car is staying well out of the way, providing, yeah, it's James in the Williams. Can get a little bit tricky here as cars are returning to the pits right on the apex of the penultimate corner. All looking pretty good. Oh, Lurch a little bit wide. He'll struggle to, yeah, just about manage to screw enough speed off to keep the lap, and goes just ahead of his teammate Phil. At the moment, slots into the top 10. We've got Vico, not Vico Kai, who's that? That's Snellheng then, recovering slowly to the pit lane, seemingly a little low on fuel. Who else have we got out on track? We've got the sole Mercedes this evening of Philip Hogston, Improves significantly, goes back up into the top 3, 104.8 for him on his second run, so it's a very solid lap indeed. Huss returns to the pits. What else have we got going on? A little bit of a lull at the moment. We've got Monster on the final couple of corners, excuse me, of his outlap. Coming through now to start the lap, and we'll stick with him because there's not a great deal else going on, although there is possibly Dragos behind him starting a lap as well. Actually, one of the Ferraris continuing on. I think that's Lurch for a second lap. Did he improve? He did quite significantly on that lap then. Lurch, one of the best qualifying efforts we've seen from him in a while. 104.712 on the medium tyres, so medium's definitely looking like a good tyre, and as we've seen from a couple of them, they're getting a couple of laps out of them, and seemingly pretty strong on that second lap after they're nicely up to temperature. But yeah, so 4 drivers without a time so far. We've got some yellow flags. I think that's just one of the Williams on an out lap, I believe. As Monster now comes through, just ran a little bit too wide, lost the lap there, and he's got to just be careful of the cars behind him. I think that could be just in time. Who's actually on an outlap himself, so that's not going to be an issue. Sky Baxendale also on an outlap, so not much really going on in terms of times at the moment. Sigurd Martu still yet to set a time. He's on track, so we'll go with him for just a second. Down into turns 2 and 3. First sector time. Again, holding it in third gear. Oh, a little bit of a slide nonetheless. Oh, can he hang on to it? No, he can't. And it's into the wall, but luckily all 4 wheels still pointing in the right direction. So a little bit of front wing damage for Sigurd Martu. He'll have to come back to the pits, but providing he can stay out of everyone's way, he will get another crack at it. Yeah, just a little bit of a slip on the throttle. Could have done with bailing on that lap, really, and going again. But either way, he'll get away with it. We've missed someone improving, and that was who? Dragos, I think, has put a time on the board, hasn't he? Stays 13th at the moment. Who else have we got on laps? I think Phil could be out there. He's gone for the soft tyre this time. Just in time goes to the top of the leaderboard. He's put the softs on and gone into a low 104. Ahead of Huss at the moment. What can Phil's actually invalidated that lap. Across the line he goes anyway. Backs out of it, so that's going to be the end of that run. Still waiting for times from 3 of them, Biko Kai, Monster and Sigurd Martu. We'll get some... have to excuse me for a moment. We'll get some standings up in just a minute. It's been a couple of weeks since we've checked in with C2. So we'll see what the situation is very shortly. Not sure how long we've got left to go in qualifying. What on earth is going on with Sigurd Martu? He's on an outlap, he's in the pit, he's on an outlap in the pit. What is going on there? Where is that car? He is on an outlap. That was bizarre. And I think that is... No, it's Snellhank just ahead of him. Oh, getting well out of the way there. I don't think that was quite intentional. Right, Alex K's just improved. 104.423. Let's get some standings up and see who's been doing what and who's been winning races and generally impressing this season. We also have an update from Discord. And On-Call Engineering continues to investigate the root cause of the issue. Yeah, it's definitely not making things easy for us. At least if he carries on for another hour, there'll be no post-race tension. Leagues, here we go. We've got Alex K top of the pile so far. Having had 2 wins from the opening, what would it be, 5 races, 4 podiums for him. LS24 is his closest rival at the moment, and he sits P4 on the grid, directly behind his championship rival at the moment. Siguramato actually with a very strong first few races, 2 podiums from that, yet to stand on the top step, but 104 points nonetheless, so still very much in the fight. And yeah, then you get down to the single podium winners of the likes of Jappy. Justin Times actually had a win, sits in P5. Lurchday somehow has picked up 77 points. I'll really appreciate the surprise there. But also, by the looks of it, yet to step onto the podium. I think he may have finished in a podium position on track in Bahrain, but lost out for his turn 1 antics, unfortunately, in the stewards room. As Alex returns to the pits, 5.5 minutes remaining. Drivers do tend to get their runs finished quite quickly around this track, as we've said, just over a minute. So it really doesn't take long to get through the 3 runs they would tend to do on these, usually on the soft tyres. But as you can see, 4 of them still having their best time set on the softs, still 2 without a time as it stands. And yeah, so that's the situation as far as the drivers. McLaren 7 points clear of Red Bull at the moment, and Haas are only 24 points off the top with McLaren there as well. So we've got a couple of Haas there tonight. We've got just 1 McLaren this evening, so they could lose out to I think we've got 2 Red Bulls, yeah, LS24 and Monster. Although he's now the only man not to have set a time. But yeah, it could be a very good evening for Red Bull. Certainly a very long race where anything can happen, and LS24 obviously with another run to go, but currently sits P6, so he should be right up the sharp end. And what else have we got going on? We've got yeah, so that's sort of the top 3, and then there's a mammoth battle between Alpine, Ferrari and Williams, covered by just 6 points for 4th, 5th and 6th in standings. In fact, only 10 points covers 4th to 7th, with Aston Martin joining that battle as well. And then it's your next bunch of teams with Alfa Romeo, AlphaTauri, the Carlin Reserves and the Mercedes. All covered by, 14 points that is. So, yeah, all looking pretty tight. Who actually won last time out? Let's have a look. So, it was Imola last time out, of course, and that was just in time taking the victory. Was it Imola last time out? I'm doubting myself. It wasn't. It was Portugal. For some reason, the results are giving me Imola as the last race. Either way, we'll select Portugal. So it was LS24 actually who won the Portugal race, with Huss getting 33 points on the board. That was where the majority of Carlin's points came, and he's out there again this evening, so could bump them up a little bit with a strong result again. Alex K picked up another podium last time out as well, so that's all that. Who was on pole last time? It was Alex K, so he needs to improve on this final run. Wait a minute, we've got Snelling, who currently sits P13, has just been disqualified for blocking the pit lane. That's interesting. So yeah, that happened. Either way, just in time is just in time for the end of the session. 2.5 minutes remaining. He goes out for, I believe, no, he's still in the pits. It was one of the Haas cars actually coming out. Or is he actually? Yeah, he is now coming out in that Alpine on screen. As Alex K comes through the final corner. Don't think he's improving. Set of soft tyres as well, so another lap won't really do him much good. He's probably going to go for it anyway. I think he may have bailed out fairly early on that lap. We'll stay on board with your current championship leader anyway. Up into 8th gear, 200 miles per hour, looking for his braking point up the hill. As it is uphill, you can brake nice and late, of course. A little bit of traffic ahead, shouldn't be an issue. Gets a much better run out this time and cuts as far to the right hand side as possible to straight line the run down the down to the run to turn 4. Downhill this time, so you have to brake a fraction earlier than you normally would. And now it's all sweeping left-handers for the middle sector. Yeah, taking a lot of entry curb. Maybe just introduced a little bit of understeer in the corner entry, but seemed to get away with it mid-corner. Again, taking lots of that entry curb for the second left-hander, and now just a very high-speed penultimate corner, and then a tricky braking zone to pick out in the final turn. Gets through that one nicely. Just avoids that sausage curb too much on the inside. Goes across the line. What's it going to be? It is indeed a 104.128. Great final part of the lap. Puts him to provisional pole. Now, what can Just in Time reply with? Can the likes of maybe even Schnitzy or Sky Baxendale get up there as well? I think they may have Sigramatu we've lost actually, so his session's over, and Huss as well, so there'll be no improvement from them. Huss did not set a lap on the soft tyres. Quite a few yellow flags out there as well, so hopefully everyone can navigate their way to a clean lap on the final runs. 40 seconds remaining, so not a lot of time to get their laps in. Sky Baxendale's going to come across the line. He is improving slightly, yeah, goes up to P3. So outside of the second row for him so far. Don't think his teammate James has improved, or is he just maybe starting all out? Goran Potner in the Haas puts it all the way up to P3. So yeah, good result for him. That's a chance of a strong result for Haas if he can maintain that sort of form into the race. And who else have we got across the line? LS24 improves back up to 6th place. Schnitzy, I think, has just started a lap. Did he get across in time? Yeah, I think he did. Who's that? Monster not improving. One of the Ferraris. Is it Phil coming across the line? I think he invalidated the lap, but did improve in terms of time anyway. But yeah, stays 14th. And I think that's probably about it. James has invalidated. His teammate Sky Baxendale is returning to the pits, so is Goran Potner. So that takes us all the way back to LS24, who may be on a second lap. I'm pretty sure he's already set a time on this run. Not improving. Schnitzy behind him. Didn't quite grab the middle sector time, unfortunately, but invalidates anyway. And Monster and Lurch have both finished. So I think that's it for qualifying. By the time everyone's returned to the pits, we will have classified grid order for you. And unfortunately no post-qualifying reaction from the drivers, because I'm pretty sure we still have no Discord, which is definitely making things a little difficult tonight in terms of communication, but we seem to have had a successful qualifying session, and the race to come very shortly. Just waiting on a couple of the drivers that have returned to the pits. Schnitzy and LS24 just waiting on their cars to be returned to the garage, and then it'll be done and dusted with this first session. Confirmation then, Alex Kay with a second consecutive pole position, and just in time behind him on the front row, Goran Potner, Sky Baxendale, Schnitzy, LS24, Monster, Vico Kai, Sigurmatu and Huss complete your top 10, so 2 runners will start on the mediums they qualified on. Lurch Day will get fresh choice of tyre, as will James, Philip Hogston, Phil, RPM Dragos, and Snellhenk unfortunately was disqualified, so he will line up right at the back, and yeah, very shortly we'll be going to the grid. And we're away then on the formation lap. Alex K leading us away. We'll be looking to extend his championship lead in what round 6 of, I believe, 16. May be wrong on that one, but somewhere around that. And we'll get some information up on the screen. We will go for position change to begin with. And yeah, leave it at that for now. I'll be back with you very shortly for lights out. Right, onto the grid we come then, and everyone's just about made it round, I think. So yeah, not be long before we're underway. As always, feel free to get your predictions in or anything else on the chat. We will read it out and we'll give any shout-outs where possible. Also, if anyone's out there, let us know which particular driver you are supporting this evening, and we'll do our best to keep an eye on them. But yeah, all cars lined up. We've got some lights coming on. We've got a flag waving there. And we're going to be underway very shortly. We've got 5 lights on. They're going to go out. Oh, we've got a drive-through already. Vico Kai, jump start, drive-through penalty. So he's made up several places already. But Alex K away at the front. Hopefully not any contact there as a result of that jump start. Vico Kai is now pulling to the inside. Seems to have lost quite a bit of ground once again. And is letting most of the pack through. Either way, he'll still have to serve that drive-through penalty. So yeah, shocking start for him. Oh, and a little bit of contact there as well. Maybe a little bit of damage. So yeah, what a horrendous start to the race for him. The two Ferraris are racing each other down towards turn 4 already. Hopefully, can both make it through the first lap. That would be, I think, progress given the fraught season they've had. Either way, everything looks to be pretty clean throughout the entire field. Huss making up some decent positions already on those mediums. He's up to P7. Good start for him in the Aston Martin. And yeah, putting himself in a very strong position for later in the race. We've got some movement up the front as well. We've got LS24 up ahead of Goran Potner. LS already up 3 positions from his starting grid. And yeah, we'll be looking to keep an eye on Alex K just in front. Doesn't want him getting too far ahead in the race or in the standings, of course. We've got a move possibly going on further back. That's James on Schnitzy for P9. Can he get that one slowed down? Seems to just about have managed that. And good space left for both to run side by side. And that will continue on through turns 2 and into the braking zone of 3. Can Schnitzy come back around the outside? James going to be on the tighter line into there. Schnitzy's trying it, but this time he will get run out of road. And much tighter radius corner this time. And now Lurchday might even have a bit of the action as well, looking to get himself into the top 10. So Ferrari power, chasing Ferrari power there. Schnitzy maybe just a little look back at James once again, can't quite get the job done. And Phil is yeah, also choosing to start on those medium tyres. So both Ferraris continuing with the same strategy. And Philip Hogston has maintained his starting position. Vico Kai, as we've said, the big loser from the start. I think he did serve his drive-through, did he? Yeah, he seems to have served his drive-through already at the end of lap 1, so at least that's out of the way. If he gets a safety car, he's very much back in this race. Alex K leads us round already onto lap 3. We soon get through them around this Austrian circuit. Just in time is a second behind him, so he will get the DRS, I believe, yeah, straight away as we come down out of turn 1. And LS24 very much sticking with them. It's a 3-way fight up the front, isn't it? Goran Potner just dropping back a little bit. 1.7 not getting the advantage of the DRS. Monster in P5 and Sky Baxendale. Huss pretty safe. Well, I say that. He was pretty safe in 7th. They've got Sigaramatu and James now both looking to make progress. Schnitzy back up into P9 and James, unfortunately, back to where he was a lap ago. It's back behind the Alfa Romeo. as we've got a little bit of change for position there between Dragos and Snelhenk. So Snelhenk recovering from that disqualification in qualifying to move back up to P14. So we said AlphaTauri obviously had 2 cars in it tonight. They've not had the best of starts, but starting to make some progress back through the field. Look at this 3-way battle for the front already. Back round to the start-finish line once again. How long can Alex K hold on? And we'll just get a bit of information up with the telemetry as well, so we can give you the relative battery levels of the cars as well, because Alex is going to have to use a little bit of energy to defend. In fact, I'm pretty sure Just in Time's going to be making a bit of a run on him, providing he wants to lead from the front at this stage. Probably a little bit of MotoGP tactics needed here, where you don't really want to lead until sort of 2/3 of the race or so. Either way, DRS open once again. Problem is for Just in Time, he's got LS24 right behind him, and he'll be wanting to make progress as well. Look at that, looking for the outside, down into 4. Not quite this time. Alex K putting his car in all the right places. That McLaren, the sole McLaren this evening, leading us round lap 4. And once again, taking that very wide entry into the left-hander in the middle sector. You're not going to overtake through here, so you'll be able to just save a little bit of that battery for when he needs it. But look how much the top 3 have broken away already. Goran Potner struggling to match the pace. He's already nearly 3 seconds behind, and he's got Monster, Sky Baxendale, Siguramato, Huss, Schnitzy, James, Lurch, Phil, and Philip Hogston, and even Schnelling all the way back to the back of the field. Basically, are in a train, all with DRS behind the 4th place man Goran Potner, and somehow he's staying ahead at the moment. We may have a move here for 2nd place, Just in Time. Under pressure, we've got yellows. Oh, that's Huss. Huss, unfortunately, and I'm not sure if he's got any damage either. We have got a change for 2nd. We've also got a change for 4th. Monster. So both Red Bulls making progress up to 2nd and 4th now. James once again having to overtake Schnitzy down into turn 3. And Phil actually has put a move on his teammate. Oh, Just in Time getting a penalty for multiple warnings. So that's very early on for him. But yeah, unfortunately we can't get a decent off-board camera. Here we go. Philip Hogston now putting Lurch under a bit of pressure. We've got some damage on the Ferrari, maybe? No. So not entirely sure why Lurch has just dropped a little bit of pace. Philip Hogston, though, is running that soft tyre, so you would expect him to have some pretty decent grip at this stage. Oh, Lurch is gone! And is he going to collect someone else? He has, unfortunately. Snelhenk and Dragos involved in that one. So Dragos reversing through the gravel to try and get back on track in the shortest possible time. Just need to be careful of that AlphaTauri. Yep. And unfortunately for Dragos, he's the big loser out of that one. Lurch appears to have got away with without any damage. We've got Huss in the pits. Wonder what he's going to put on. The Alpha seems to have gotten away with it, although running very wide. So maybe some tyre trouble there for him. Huss has actually put the softs on and a new front wing. So yeah, all seem to... all the drama in one lap there. Oh, we've got a change for the lead as Alex K now gets squeezed to the inside of turn 4. Alex 24 taking over as, wait a minute, we've got another, we've got a penalty there for Sky Baxendale for a collision as it's all kicking off. We had such a clean first 4 or 5 laps, and then all of a sudden everything's kicked off in one go. As Vico Kai, look at that, having pitted early on. Well, didn't pit early on, did he? Had the drive-through early on. Oh, we've got another car around now. Is that James? Similar sort of position, and there should just be enough of a gap ahead of Phil to filter back into the race. But yeah, drivers really starting to struggle with the rear end as Vico Kai looking, and Phil's coming for the pits. Damage to the left-hand side of the wing. And yeah, committing to that pit lane nice and early. Siguramato in as well. Hopefully no one picks up any penalties for speeding in the pits. So we've got Schnitzy in as well. Sky Baxendale serving his penalty. So wow, what a couple of laps. We'll try and get back to the battle at the front because it's absolutely incredible at the moment. Still, all 3 of them covered by absolutely nothing. Less than half a second. LS24 is now the one punching a hole in the air, and it's Just in Time back in P2. Alex K, pole sitter, has dropped back to P3 now. Monster starting to just close up a bit of the gap. So yeah, we mentioned it could be a good result for Red Bull with 2 of them both running this evening, and just the one McLaren. So yeah, looking very strong at this point in the race, aren't they? But back to the front, this 3-way scrap is yeah, going to go on for quite some time, you imagine, unless one of them drops it. They're all on the same strategy, so shouldn't be mixing it up too much. And LS24, or maybe just a little bit wide, just in time, is going to get a good run on him with the... and look at that already. Look how it drains the battery, being the one in front. He's going to yeah, not have any chance of defending that one whatsoever. And oh, a little bit of a contact there from Alex K on the back of the Alpine, but seems to have got away with it. And but look at the rate at which the second Red Bull's closing in now. 1.7 seconds now, the gap. Goran Potner is actually going with him now. He's managed to get a little bit of DRS. So Huss sets the fastest lap of the race on those new soft tyres. And we'll try and keep an eye on what's going on further back. Lurch has got himself back into the top 10. But either way, this is a frantic race so far. We're on, well, we're coming around already to start lap 9 of 36. So we're ticking them off very quickly indeed, as just in time, once again, maybe just getting a little bit adventurous with the track limits, and already carrying that penalty. So yeah, it's effectively sits probably just about P4 at the moment. Alex K now, running very wide there. Snellhenk comes into the pits from P7, so it's an early stop from him as well. Maybe a little bit of damage there. Don't want to tempt fate, but a safety car would certainly bunch things up nicely once again. We've had a lot of drivers with issues, as Schnitzy gets a time penalty himself for multiple warnings. I believe he got that one coming out of the final corner, and wait a minute, we've got Schnitzy in the wall with no front wing as well. He's got to do the whole lap with no front wing. That's worst case scenario for him, as Sigurd Amatu will go over the line past him into P13. And Phil, yeah, not being too far behind either. Just in time is still leading on towards the end of lap 9. So yeah, soft tyres still going perfectly fine at the moment. I think they'll probably go about, what is it, about 14 laps, something along those lines. Either way, in fact, we've got LS24. We've got both Red Bulls in at the same time. A little bit of lack of communication there. So Monster's going to be queuing in behind. That's going to cost him at least a couple of seconds. I believe there was an update not so long ago that they get out of the way a little earlier. Yeah, then they do get to work on the second Red Bull, and hopefully he'll be away very soon. Yeah, it's a bit of a glitch. He's already well on his way, isn't he? So yeah, cost him a little bit, but nowhere near as much as it would have done a year or so ago. As you seemingly have to wait for the whole pit crew to go back into the garage and come back out again. We've got to change up the front again, although they're running side by side. We have seen contact through there before with the leaders, so this time they're running pretty clean. And that was a little odd, but no idea why I've seen that. Either way, Alex K, what's he going to do? Continuing on by the looks of things. Have to commit early, of course, if you're going to pit. Have to keep inside that white line, so neither of them doing so this time. And who have we got in? Schnitzy still, he's made his way back to the pits, so unfortunately going to lose a lap there. As Goran Potner now is the next man to pit. So your two leaders going longer than anyone else on the soft tyres. Philip Hogston as well, actually. He's making good progress. He's took those soft tyres a very long way indeed. I think we have some Discord action by the looks of things. So yeah, seemingly we have Discord back online. Just in time for the post-race arguments. I'm sure Phil will be involved. I don't know. He's made it a fair way so far, hasn't he? P14. 11 laps in. Vico Kai dropping back behind LS24, who's pitted. Lurch is in a race with James, and this is always one of the highlights of the post-race chat. So these two having a good battle together by the looks of things. James on the softs, Lurch on the mediums, and at the moment Alex K still holding that lead as they both go through for another lap. Will Philip Hogston pit? James has actually done 10 laps on those softs as well, hasn't he? Philip Hogston continues on as well. So yeah, neither of these considering pitting so far. Lurch seemed to love 7th gear there. Absolutely on the rev limiter. Monster picks up his own 3-second time penalty. James just covering the middle of the circuit, making it clear that he doesn't want any overtaking attempt from Lurch, who goes in a little bit too deep, and yeah, just oh, wait a minute, we've got Monster coming through, going to come through the pair of them. It's like he's in a different class. DRS open. Oh, look at Lurch as well, getting a good run. Is he going to go for it back on the Red Bull? Oh, a little bit of contact. Oh, a little bit more contact. Monster, yeah, being punted around by the pair of them. Hopefully no damage done. We got. Wait a minute. Who's that? That's Sigaramatu, who's a lap down. No, it's Goran Potner. Sorry, yeah. Goran Potner is yeah. Once again. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, we've ended up with contact. What's happened there? James is facing the wrong way, unfortunately. So we've got some yellows because is Vico Kai spun again? Or spun? I think it was it him last time he was involved? I think it could have been. Either way, he was momentarily facing the wrong way there. Top three continuing on, but then the two Red Bulls looking increasingly strong. Currently running on the medium tyres. And wait a minute, we've got a VSC. Why on earth have we got a VSC? Either way, if you're anywhere near the pit lane, i.e. James, i.e. well, I was going to say Phil's only just really pitted. So it's Huss and James who are taking advantage. Perfect timing for James, actually, coming towards the end of his soft tyre stint. So yeah, he unfortunately had that spin that may have been caused by a little bit of contact, but it may have just put him into the perfect position to get a cheap pit stop. Make some of that time back up. He's going to come out just behind his teammate. Yeah, just behind his teammate. But on brand new medium tyres that could probably go to the end, I think. What is it, just over 20 laps? I think that's possible. Alex K is in the pits as well, as is just in time. And both still under VSC. It's probably going to go green while they're in the pits, but they'll have saved themselves a little bit of time. It's a very long VSC for... I have no idea what for. Either way, it's still VSC. Philip Hogston chose not to pit. He continues on. Bit of a strange one that. Either way, LS24 is going to take the net. Oh, that's very close, but I think he's just about, yeah, going to take the lead from Alex K. Although, depending on exactly where the safety car line was, not entirely sure who. Either way, he's ended up back in front, so yeah, not entirely sure on that one who... Oh, Alex K almost runs into the back of him. A little bit of confusion, but hopefully, well, clearly no one got an illegal overtake penalty from the game or anything like that, so they continue on. And what else have we got going on? Just in time's come out ahead of Goran Potner and Lurch Day. Dragos making some progress back through the field as well, although he still has to pit, of course. We're just getting some Discord notifications through now, and yeah, all seems to be back up and running. Just unfortunately an hour too late. What's going on there? Snellhank's just dropped a position to Sigurd Martu, I believe. Phil's got Vico Kai, who's pitted following his spin and put on fresh softs. So Phil now under pressure from the AlphaTauri. Should have some pretty decent pace on those tyres. Philip Hogston's still going around on soft tyres that are now into their 15th lap. So wait a minute, we've got yellows and oh, that's going to be so close, and Phil's going to spin as a result of that because Snellhank, I think, spun back onto the racing line, and yeah, Phil recovering now. He's got the two Williams coming up behind him. Should stay out of the way of those. He does indeed. And yeah, that was all yeah, very unfortunate for Phil there. Just a fraction too early on the scene if he'd come around the corner. Oh, and now as a result of the tyres obviously going through the roof with temperature, he's unfortunately probably going to have to pit as a result of that, unless he can get the tyres back into their working window. So through no fault of his own, unfortunately, down to P15 and some way off now. There is still a point on the table for him if he can keep plodding along. If he can pick up the top 15 position, he will get points. So we've still got 16 runners on lap 16 here, approaching half distance. Philip Hogston is still your race leader from 3 seconds by 3 seconds from LS24 from Alex K, who takes over P2. So the McLaren, yeah, back up ahead of the Red Bull, and yeah, carrying quite a bit more energy as well. LS24 would probably be better just sticking in the DRS and not using any battery, or using less battery for a lap or two, get himself recharged. His teammate is trying to shrug off the attention of Just in Time, and not managing to do so at the moment. Goran Potner, what a great race he's having. Is sort of quietly just off the lead group pretty much throughout, but certainly an outside bet for a podium this afternoon. And Lurchday somehow is up in 7th place, yet to pit. Philip Hogston finally gets rid of those soft tyres. He should put the mediums on and pretty comfortably go to the end. I think anyone who's on mediums that are sort of 5 laps old or less is probably able to go to the end, even if they're getting a bit sketchy by that point. What have we got there? That's, yeah, swap of position because Philip Hogston's going out of the pit lane, yeah. Got a fastest lap from Vico Kai. What else? So the two Williams still pretty much line astern. James on fresher tyres, I think, has overtaken Sky Baxendale. I think they were the other way around a moment ago. Just in Time finally gets ahead of Monster, and can he keep it around the outside? He's got the inside line for the next corner, so should be able to do so. A little bit of overtake mode in there as well for good measure, and he does have quite an advantage in that regard over the Red Bull, so should be able to make that one stick. And LS24 is yeah, using most of his battery once again, but has the DRS to stay in touch, but still using every bit of electrical energy he's got. Alex Kay doing a good job of managing his, despite running at the front now. DRS open on the Red Bull. Is it going to be another change of position? It's a bit of a late one, but yeah, just about managed to get it in there. Gets it slowed down. I think Alex Kay doesn't get the DRS this time actually, but Goran Potner going a long way and just about, yeah, he's going to need a bit of a reverse, I think there. Would have probably been quicker to just knock it in reverse, but he's back underway and I think gets away without any damage. But unfortunately for him, lost quite a bit of time as a result of that. It'd be interesting to see a little bit earlier as to exactly what happened there, because he came in with way too much pace seemingly. So not sure if there was any avoidance under braking. LS24 has spun. Oh, both Red Bulls have spun. The Red Bulls are doing donuts on one of the fastest parts of the circuit, and I think Goran Potner made his way through there, so he's back up to... Oh, wait a minute. Not sure what happened there. Did he get an illegal overtake? Through some sort of bizarre yellow flag, even though LS24 was spun? No idea, but either way, he dropped back behind the Red Bull, and will now get DRS anyway, and has a decent amount of energy, so I think this is probably going to be a change of position for P4. And Goran Potner, I would imagine, yeah, can go to the end on these tyres. Lurchday will pit, so at the moment he's looking on for that podium. He needs to start getting it slowed down for turn 3 though. He seems to be really struggling under braking there. I'm not sure if he's... I'll keep an eye on the inputs. I'm not sure if is he definitely getting the full braking performance. Yeah, it seems to be going to 100% there, so maybe just getting a little overexcited with the overtake down there. Either way, he's clear of the two Red Bulls for now, both of which are struggling with electrical energy a little bit. And Monster, of course, has that penalty. I think he has maybe a couple of penalties, doesn't he? No, just the one. Oh, we've got... oh, he's round again! LS24 round again, and oh, that's going to be so close. Oh, there's going to be contact there, and that's... So how have we not got a DNF for Vico Kai? LS24 gets a drive-through penalty for that. Yeah, it was a little bit awkward, wasn't it? It's a blind corner, of course, and he pits, I think, straight away to serve that drive-through. Vico Kai coming in behind him for a front wing change. So, yeah, a little bit awkward there, but unfortunately for him. And wait a minute, Sky Baxendale's had an incident as well, has he? Is he heading for the pit lane, maybe? No, continuing on. Absolutely throwing it into the final corner. Doesn't seem to have too much grip on his hands at the moment, as Phil takes P14 away from him. What else have we got going on? Alex K is seemingly running away at the front now. He's managed to break that DRS barrier and just managing his energy recovery throughout the lap now. And yeah, it's a 4.2 second advantage into lap 21. Lurchday is not pitting. Goran Potner is closing in on him though. Wait a minute, not sure if he was avoiding something there, but either way, looked a little unusual line out of the penultimate corner there. Monster is still within striking distance for a podium, but his teammate LS24 seems to have blown that with 2 spins in 2 laps. Philip Hogston as well on very fresh tyres. Could there be a podium in there for him? Not sure if he's been up there so far this season. I will try and check that out with Goran Potner as well, actually. See if either of them have made it up there. Who have we got? Philip Hogston is currently P11 with 43 points. No podium so far this season. Goran Potner is at 37 points, P13. No podium this season. So if either of those two could get themselves up there, that would be a first podium of the season for them. Philip Hogston, though, does his chances a little bit of harm there with a 3-second time penalty. And Lurch is committing to the pit lane. So, yeah, respecting that white line as always. And, yeah, oh, some yellow flags as well, just in time. Oh, just in time's got no front wing. No front wing whatsoever. So, not only does that sort of give... Wait a minute, is Alex... Oh, we've got a virtual safety car. Yeah, thought the McLaren was slow there as well for a second. So, again, virtual safety car. So, Alex K will be very thankful for that, because it means he can maintain his now, what, sort of 10-second gap. I'm not entirely sure what the gap is until they get back up to racing speed, but it's a significant gap, and actually it's going to be even more by the time the Alpine's been in the pits. So once again, it's been a very eventful race, and yeah, if you can keep your nose clean, you'll probably get a very decent result out of it. Phil, unfortunately, has been speeding in the pit lane, picks up a 5-second penalty. Who else have we got? LS24 and Schnitzy both in the pits as well for some cheap pit stops. Just in time, we're hoping this VSC goes on a little bit longer. Alex K feeling the need to keep a bit of temperature in those tyres. Weather looks clear, doesn't seem to be changing anyway. So, oh wait a minute, what's going on there? We've got contact between. Oh, Goran Potner's just picked up a penalty, unfortunately. Schnitzy was running off the track there for some reason. Philip Hogston, did he pit? No, who did pit? Just in time is in the pits. Huss moves back up to 4th place. Monster's been in the pits as well. So, lap 23 of 36, we'll try and catch up with everything that's happened. All of a sudden, we've got both Goran Potner and Philip Hogston in podium positions. Albeit both with penalties, and Huss at the moment. In fact, Lurch is looking pretty strong at the moment, isn't he? We've not seen much of him really this evening. He's gone long on those mediums. He's quite possibly just benefited from that VSC to make a cheap pit stop, and he's come out in 5th place and looking like scoring a decent hatful of points. His teammate Phil is starting to make a little bit of progress as well. Now he's got those soft tyres on, although he's just picked up a penalty for track limits. They're all in amongst the race leader, who doesn't seem to have too much interest in racing these back markers. He now has an 18-second lead. So with what, just over 12 laps remaining, can afford to just take it a little bit easy. Although it is starting to look a bit dull, isn't it? So we just mentioned the weather, and Alex K having to, or feeling the need to keep some temperature in the tyres by weaving down the straight. The weather is starting to be a little bit of an unknown. It's certainly looking duller than it was. And just get the stream back on so we can see if anyone's wanting to make any comments. Of course, feel free. Try and keep an eye on it. Right, back to it. What have we got? Alex Kay leading from Goran Potner, Philip Hogston, and Huss. And let's say that's your top 5. Just in time, making some progress back towards the top 5 actually after that replacement front wing. He's got a new set of soft tyres on, so even with albeit having his penalty, he should be able to make up some ground. And yeah, he was running pretty much with the leaders the entire race, wasn't he? So you'd expect him to be able to make progress. Siramatu setting the fastest lap of the race. It's definitely looking darker. I'm getting the feeling that maybe we could be seeing a little bit of rain towards the end of this race, and that is definitely something we've seen in Austria before. You know, a dry race right up to the very end. Not always, meaning that you have to change tyres, but sometimes just making it very tricky to get around the final couple of laps on the slicks. We'll keep an eye on it, but at the moment, Alex Kay still looking very comfortable with a near 20-second lead up the front. Goran Potner is keeping the Haas very clean indeed in P2 as he comes across the line to start his 26th lap. Philip Hogston not too far behind on some pretty fresh tyres as well. He took those soft tyres the longest of anyone, of course. Didn't feel the need to pit under that first virtual safety car. Maybe just regretting that now. He could have been up there in P2. As Lurch picks up a 3-second penalty. So you get the feeling someone like Huss, who's kept his nose clean so far on track limits, may be taking quite significant advantage towards the end of this race, especially if we get a late safety car or anything like that. The likes of Snellhenk, who's sort of a long way down the order but with no penalties, could definitely start making some significant progress. The likes of James and Vico as well have kept their nose clean on that one. LS24 I think had a drive through at some point. He's cleared that of course now. And lap 27 of 36. Yeah, 3/4 of the way through the race. Not entirely sure where it's all gone. It's been absolutely breathtaking as we've got to move there down the order through the middle sector for Sigaramatu on Snellhenk. It's fresh mediums against pretty warm mediums, so yeah, you'd expect that one to be fairly straightforward. It is the closest gap we have on track at the moment. Dragos is going to spin almost into the pit lane. Just needs to watch. There's a Williams coming around. Beyond that, he should be okay to get back up and running. And yeah, just about makes it through the final corner. There's some pretty new soft tyres, so they shouldn't be giving up too much grip just yet. And what's going on a little bit further back, the other Alpha is right on the back of Phil for 14th and 15th positions. LS24 starting to make a little bit of progress as well. He might pick up some points towards the end of this race, although he's lost almost an entire lap now to your race leader Alex Kay, who's just coming up behind him. He's the next man to be lapped. So, lap 28 of 36. Possible threat of rain. Not entirely convinced on that one. It's maybe just a little overcast, but nothing coming down yet. And we'll just double check on the penalties as well. Phil's managed to get somehow 14 seconds worth. Schnitzy 9 seconds worth. So Phil might be looking like missing out on the points this evening. There's the stops information for you. One stop the way to go so far this evening. The 3 leaders all just doing the one. So Schnitzy picks up a penalty then. Lap 29 coming right up as Alex Kay goes into another lap. And once again, just has to bring it home. Doing a very good job at the moment. Goran Potner also, barring I think a couple of mistakes we've seen from him down at turn 3, he's done a pretty fantastic race so far. Philip Hogston all calm and collected, didn't panic under the first VSC, kept it going, went as longer than anyone on the soft tyres. It certainly gave himself a decent delta on the tyre wear in this final stint. So at the moment, yeah, 6 laps fresher than Goran Potner. What am I looking? Wait a minute. Someone's had a bit of a spin there. Is it James? I think it could be. I am looking for something, and I can't remember what it is. Position James. There we go. Yeah, look at the likes of Philip Hogston. That's pretty impressive, isn't it? Up 10 at the moment. Snellink as well up 7, despite I think an incident. Definitely seen him. Oh, we've got rain. We have got rain. On lap 29 and 36, we've got raindrops falling. So if you wanted a bit of drama, here it is. Anyone could be the hero now. And yeah, wow. Now it's a very difficult call. Alex K, as long as he doesn't drop it, can afford to be cautious on the call. He doesn't need to be making a stop for intermediates any earlier than anyone else. But it will start getting a little bit tricky. We've got, what, 7 laps to complete. Huss finally picks up that 3-second time penalty. That'll be fantastic news for the likes of Goran Potner and Philip Hogston, who have picked up their own earlier on. So just 5 runners now with no penalties. But wow, what are these last 6 or 7 laps going to have in store for us? Are we going to see some wet tyres? Are we going to see anyone sort of gamble on the inters and make up a lot of time in the last couple of laps? As Lurchday made a bit of a dive there, and unfortunately it didn't come off. Went in too deep. Just in time comes back underneath him and retakes that P5, I think. So what's the information with all these penalties? So 2nd to 8th all have 3 seconds worth of penalties, so that's effectively the on-track battle. And then 11th to 14th have multiple penalties. Okay, that's that. So as it stands, it's all for position, isn't it? So we've got Philip Hogston. Those fresher tyres maybe just starting to pay off in these tricky conditions. A little bit more grip for him. And Goran Potner, yeah, struggling a little bit there with the rear end. As Phil goes past Sky Baxendale, who's got the most worn tyres of anyone out there. 22 lap old mediums. Phil on the softs. In fact, Alex K is, if anything, pulling out a bit more of an advantage. 22.7 seconds now. We've got some yellows. That is James, who's run off the circuit. So my sort of analysis straight away would be, as Schnitzy's in the wall as well, and hopefully stays out of the way of the race leader, as we've got VSC. And that makes it all the more, if you're down the back, gamble, put a set of inters on, because drivers are starting to struggle. And in fact, yeah, it seems like now is a pretty clear crossover for the drivers. Then, drive-through penalty for James speeding under the VSC. That's ruined his race. But yeah, it seems pretty clear cut in the end. It wasn't as 50-50 as we expected. I'm pretty sure we're going to see some inters, are we? No, fresh mediums. Is that right? He's being held on our screen. I don't know whether he actually is. Why is Alex K actually... He's left the session! What on earth has gone on? James retired in the pits by the looks of things. We've lost our race leader. He's pitted. He's medium tyres on. And he's left the session. Goran Potner, as it stands, didn't pit. So it's actually only the final... Look how tricky it is. It's actually only the final 4 runners on inters at the moment. As daft as this sounds, we could see someone like Dragos come in and winning this race. Lap 32 or 36. Absolutely no idea what's going on here. We've got Alex K back in the session now. He's in P4, just behind Huss. And, well, we're going to keep an eye on these intermediate runners, because what does Dragos look like? He looks alright, doesn't it? So, wow, what's going to happen? We could have Goran Potner, we could have Philip Hogston winning their first races of the season. And, it's going to get very close. In fact, both are pitting. This is surely going to be intermediate tyres for them. We've got Sigur and Martu facing the wrong way, unfortunately. Is that going to be another VSC? Now's not the time to be speeding in the pit lane. So Alex K continues on with fresh mediums. How critical is that mistake going to be? It must have been a mistake. He must have pitted wanting intermediates. as DRS is disabled, so that previously you would have took that to mean straight away that's the crossover point. Whether it still is or not, I'm not entirely sure. Goran Potner, though, leads us out on inters. I'm pretty sure everyone is in the pits, are they? Monster, I think, maybe continuing on. Sigaramatu as well, actually, still on medium tyres. So yeah, there's a couple out there still committing to it. But as it stands, we've got a move there for Huss on Philip Hogston. So in fact, it's I was about to say it's looking pretty decent for Haas at the moment, but Sigaramatu's still out there on the slicks, will probably fall back. Dragos is making good progress, so he pitted a little earlier than the rest. He's back up into P9. Lurch is still out there on brand new soft, so Lurch is pitted, but unfortunately he seems to have made the same mistake. He's pitted for new slicks. So Schnitzy picks up another penalty. Is Alex Kay going to pit? He does. So it's going to cost him some time, but it's the lesser of two evils, I feel. And he gets it slowed down. So Goran Potner, by half a second at the moment, leads into the penultimate lap. Huss at the moment is showing some pretty decent pace, and you'd have to say probably looks the favourite at the moment. Definitely looks the more comfortable of the leading drivers, and taking a very, very wide run into turn one. Lurch takes a penalty, unfortunately, as well, but continues on those softs. So it's not cut and dry, is it? It's the slicks still seem to be working just, so he could still pick up a reasonable result. Alex Kay is actually not too far off the lead battle now, back on those inters. So conditions maybe just stabilising a little bit after initially seeming like it would be an easy choice for inters. Monster and Lurch not dropping a massive amount. I think it is definitely the right tyre to be on, but they're not dropping like a stone. They can still keep it on the track. Goran Potner at the minute, though. We did actually get it wrong. It's not the penultimate lap. There is 2 laps to go at the end of this one. They'd already crossed the line when I made that statement. But we've got some yellows. That is Phil by the looks of things, is it? Seems to be. Facing the wrong way down at turn 3. Into lap 35 of 36. Goran Potner leads us across the line. 2 laps to go. And he could be in with a chance of his very first win, I'm pretty sure. He's definitely not won this season. But we'll try and keep an eye on the race whilst seeing if Goran Potner has won a race yet in Racing League Hub. Don't believe he has. He's had a podium finish previously. His best finish, I think, is second by that. So yeah, it doesn't appear to have won a race before. Can he keep it in the lead for another lap and a half to join the list? A very long list of RLH winners over the 11 seasons. Some more yellow flags out there. Lurch has been in the pits for some inters, so he's finally given up on that one. Monster as well is the only man out there on mediums, but I would imagine he's going to drop to the back of the field very shortly. Huss doesn't seem to quite have enough in it, does it? Goran Potner doing everything he needs to do at the moment. Philip Hogston likewise, although, wait a minute, Alex Kay doesn't have any penalties. Vico Kai picks up a 3-second penalty. So at the moment, Alex Kay is going to take the podium off Philip Hogston. We'll just go back to this because Huss getting close once again, but not enough this time. Lap 36th of 36. This rain really has thrown the form book out the window, and at the moment, Goran Potner, who we mentioned earlier on, had done a fantastic job and was just sort of shadowing the lead pack. He was sort of best of the rest for a lot of this race. But the rain's certainly given him a chance to shine. Alex Kay, yeah, it seems like a mistake that he pitted and put new slicks on, maybe expecting some intermediates. But at the moment, we've got a Haas still leading us round into the final sector. And surely nowhere for Huss to make an overtaking manoeuvre now, unless Goran Potner makes a mistake. So through the final couple of corners, he's going to come. And I'm pretty sure the Haas driver is going to see the checkered flag for his first Racing League Hub victory. He's going to come out of the final corner. He does have drive out of the final corner. He'll cross the line. It's his very first victory. Haas with a fantastic recovery to P2. Philip Hogston is going to lose out, I think, on the podium, is he? Or did Alex Kay get a penalty on the last lap? I think Alex Kay may have picked up a penalty on the final lap there. Either way, Philip Hogston takes his first podium of the season. Dragos did recover to, well, P5 originally, but he's dropped on penalties, unfortunately for him. Just in time, Vika Kai, Sigurmatu, Dragos, Sky Baxendale, LS24, Snellhenk, Phil, it finished ahead of Lurch in the end in P12, Schnitzy, Lurch himself, and Monster. That completed your order. James, we lost to some technical difficulties by the looks of it, with his screen turning off at turn 3 by the looks of it. So yeah, we'll get some comments in from the drivers where possible. What an incredible race! We're still waiting actually for Lurch and Monster to finish the race. Well, the rain definitely mixed things up. We've got Monster out there with no front wing actually, so that's why it's taking him a little bit longer. But he will cross the line, and that will be round 6 completed. And what a round 6 it was. Wow. I'll get my breath for just a second. Philip Hogston is giving you a driver of the day, and we'll be back very shortly with the classified results. Goran Potner out onto the podium, taking home the winner's trophy this evening. All 3 drivers up there on the podium, very much deserving of driver of the day. So yeah, some fantastic drives out there this evening. It was a messy race at times, and yeah, the rain certainly apparently race director is wrong. Interesting. That may, yeah, some decent caused by the fact that Alex Kay left the session, isn't it? So I believe the order will remain as per the classified results, which are on screen now. So Goran Potner, as we've mentioned, taking his first RLH victory. Huss in second, Philip Hogston, Alex Kay just in time, Vika Kai, Sigurmatu, Dragos, LS24, and Sky Baxendale use your top 10. Snellhenk, Phil, Lurch, Schnitzy, and Monster complete your points finishers, and James, unfortunately, was your only non-finisher with some technical difficulties. What a race. I need to catch my breath. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll be back next week with C1 action. Please join us then, and good night.